I'm a hopeless romantic, and as you can probably imagine, my favorite holiday is and has always been Valentine's Day. It's something I look forward to every year, regardless of whether or not I have a Valentine, and this year was no different, except for the fact that it was probably the worst Valentine's Day I've ever had. My boyfriend of a year and a half decided that it would be the perfect day to tell me that he wanted to break up because things just weren't working out like he thought they'd be, and as it turns out, he'd been seeing someone else for the past 2 months. Naturally, I was heartbroken, and of course, I was extremely sad, devastated, but I knew that I didn't want to let it consume me. I knew that I needed to do something. I needed to stay busy and keep myself occupied so that I wouldn't let this heartbreak just consume me and turn me into something that I just didn't want to be. So I decided to pour myself into writing, my passion for writing. I channeled all my energy into that. And one day I was at my apartment alone, and I decided to start browsing the internet for different writing opportunities. And I came across this writing program called Writers in New York at NYU. And thankfully, there were 3 days left until the deadline for the application. So of course, I spent that night and the next night writing the 10-page story that was required for the application, filled it out, and turned in the application the day it was due. I wasn't really sure if I was going to get in, only because I turned in the application so late, but I was hopeful, and for those 3 weeks that I waited to hear back, it was very nerve-wracking. And finally, when I got the email in my inbox from NYU, I was afraid to open it. I didn't know what it would say, and I guess more so I was just afraid that I wasn't going to be accepted just because it's something that I really, really wanted. Finally, I mustered up the courage to open the email, and when I clicked on it, I was happy to see that I had been accepted to the program, and I started crying tears of joy, called my mom, called my dad, and called my closest friends, just spreading the word, and everybody was super happy for me, just because they know that New York is always the place I've wanted to be. I feel like that's the place for writers to be, and I finally got my golden opportunity. I guess what this whole heartbreak experience has taught me is that, sometimes things are going to happen, but for whatever crazy reason, things just work out how they're supposed to, and sometimes you have to go through the hardships to get to the good things. But I'm thankful that it happened, because had I still been with him, I probably wouldn't have even researched any writing programs, and I'd probably still be stuck in Austin for the summer instead of going where I've always wanted to go. So I'm just really happy I had that opportunity, and what I'm going to take away from this is, regardless of what I'm doing with my life, I always need to make sure to nurture my passion for writing, because if that's really what I want to do with my life, I need to practice and continue writing and continue nurturing my passion for writing, just to make sure I get to where I want to be in my future. Because I know if I focus on everything and I actually apply myself and put my energy into things, I know I'll get to where I want to be.